we have a game coming soon. It's going to be Fish versus FM, of course. Predictions pretty much think that we lean towards FM just 2-0. Just a bit of casual game of Counter-Strike.
Why not?
Why not, right?
Oh, look at that camera angle. Oh.
That is.
Oh, new FM logo. Oh, look, they've had a rebrand. That's like 18 years in the making.
I think they changed the jerseys though, because like, I mean, you look back at Source, they're still rocking the same sort of logo.
It's true. I'm intrigued, actually. Oh, God, it's like a night out in London.
They've had a stab.
Smooth, last man I stand, of course. Look at this. He's cheeky, isn't he? Playing a bit of platforming. Goes in.
Third person.
Fries sliced him up.
Fries
Butchered him. Oh, he's on sale. £10 block of meat.
Just having a bit of a fun time there with the knives. They do decide to just shiv each other up, because why not? Have a bit of a war on the streets of Overpass. But the result comes in.
Yep.
And they set ourselves up for a pistol round. You love pistol, don't you?
It's true. This is also going to be an interesting one, because obviously Fish, basically just an explosive sort of mixed team this time around. We were speaking about it yesterday, but very reminiscent of XL, and then Keita is obviously kind of the only member that's in there from, Keita, chill out, mate.
Keita, just take a step back for a second. I know you're feeling pretty snaky right now, but you just got to chill. Now's not the time to strike on your own teammates. Just got to relax a little bit, wait.
Imagine if it actually was live, though. Like, Keita's just tilted.
It's got a bit mad early.
Yeah.
A few rounds.
But yeah, that's the thing. Obviously, Keita's the support player. He's going to be the one aiding the rest of the teammates. Smuya just going to be trying to get that AWP setup out. Jenko, he's the talented kind of individual rifler. You're going to see a lot of stuff coming out from him. Mole is also very talented, but he'll sit with the in-game leader. And then Roma, again, just one of these players that is very proficient with the rifle and can do work. There's a lot of talent on this roster, so it's going to be a little bit more aggressive than what we expect to see coming out from FM. Very standardized, very structured. They have a lot of strategy in there. It will be aggression towards every bomb site. They're going to try and burst their way through. Let's see if the CTs can actually ward this off. They breach the site. They're able to slip their way in. They actually seem like they're going to be able to get the bomb plant completely uncontested as well. They do lock it down. Jenko will find one headshot in the end, though. Claims that towards Fry, but Mole does one better.
In the meantime, but it's just Fish123. They drop the gauntlet onto their opposition. FM cannot get close. Jenko going to end this round in a nutshell as he just claimed the head of Stanley once and for all. Leaving Fish123 with a round advantage on the board, and FM left somewhat out of this one in the early days. They are, of course, going to be going straight back in with the force up, though, the CZs and such. The Kevlar already being purchased, and it is going to be a whole lot of CZs, in fact. Pulse, Fry, and Stanley all making that purchase.
I've just noticed that the colours on FM are now inversed. They're flipped. So, turning a new leaf on the book of FM. But anyway, let's see what Fish123 can bring to the table here as they slowly make their approach through. They are going to be tiptoeing up. Obviously, they have the rifles into this round. They know FM won't really have too much to work with. They have gone for the force buyers. Why not? You might as well at this point. They're just going to sort of play these crossfires, obviously going for information plays right now, hoping to achieve something. Crossfire here towards Monster as well. So if they do take the play towards B and just walk through, they should actually get the better of them there. But Fish, most likely, just going to keep playing this split and pick style. Try and find frags if FM get overly aggressive. If not, Wolf pack up into the late round and then take a hit towards most likely A at this point. They're situated over there. Try and take that long control as well. It just complements the AKs they have.
Yeah, team play by far is going to be just such a big strength right now. Fish123, after all the firepower you mentioned, really just bulks up to be what should be a pretty clear-cut second round, but FM, they're always so good at throwing the wrench in the works. These guys really know how to handle these pistols and take the close fights, which something is going to be, that's what they're leaning towards, to put it bluntly. To skip aside, as it is going to be Pulse just jumping around, spots out one player in towards Connector. Smuya going to be man to give the jig up, as they do begin to step over on towards A. It's going to be tiptoe by tiptoe. Very quiet, but the information's already there. They need to go fast now.
Molotov does go in, actually bounces off their teammates though. This slows them down a little bit and allows those to go for an information play. Also transferring damage over. There's the headshot that comes through in the end, takes down Keita. That's fairly effective. Pulse with a peek as well, doing damage to that CZ. Looking like they're going to start to claw this one back as Stanley goes huge with a 2K, leaving things just on Mole to try and claw around back. It is not achievable. Pulse will spray him down with the CZ, and they get it.
It all comes down to the fact that they were spotted out. The information was all there. FM knew exactly what was coming, and then Fish were like, yeah, but we want to be slow. We're ancient right now. We are the old boys, but unfortunately, you're just too old. You took too long. You crawled along, and you got punished for it. The CZs within a mop. Stanley was able to do work, and it's around on the board for FM, and the economy of Fish123 is now going to find themselves on the crushing side. It's going to be painful for them. They've gone back in with the Deagles and the Kevlar, of course, but everything we just said about Fish now applies to FM. And arguably, they're playing it better already because they're on the CT side. It's easier for them.
Yeah, true. It is going to help them out because this is the thing, right? You're coming into this now, the reset going through for Fish. They actually have money to pay over on FM. If they lock down these following rounds as well off the back of that now, they're going to be in a really good situation. Pulse going for the early contact over towards Toilets, peeks out, but no one really there to allow him to get that early kill off. Smooya is just deegging away, trying to take down Weber. There is tags being traded from either side, but no real frags kicking off just yet. A lot of information has been gained by FM at this point.
FM know that Fish are just trying to bulk up yet again just on the edge of this. The boost is going to come in, and that just gives away Pulse just to lay down even more damage right on through, just tagging out Fish123 so much now as Mole, the only player really to not be tagged aside. Jenko as well, in fact, over towards the back of B. So they have readjusted, but they're going to be walking into a mincemeat. It's going to be Stanley there with the UMP ready to just chew them to pieces. Right, peeks out with the rifle, starts to support, picks off one already. Short, getting snapshot attack, and this is not looking too good at all. Mole is going to pick off one, but then Stanley does support just as expected. Fish123 get eaten alive.
Smooya, the last man left standing. Obviously, Deagle in hand, so he still has a little bit of firepower to play with. We'll take down Stanley. See if he can spot out anything else, but I think really going his way just yet. Hoping to find these frags. Gets a second to his name before he gets traded out in the end by Pulse. So a little bit awkward. Obviously, FM forced to get 3 rebuys out, and their economy isn't too spectacular. But still, the only good factor is that FM obviously going through will have the advantage in terms of economy over Fish anyway.
They made money off the SMG as well, right? It was just as I described it, around built off mincemeat. It was just them walking in, getting all the frags. And for Fish, it's arguably much more painful for them either way. So FM, if they keep this round clean, don't have to rebuy too much, then they can kind of replenish what they lost in that previous round. So it's kind of, sure, they're stuck at odds end in some regard, but for the most part, I still think FM are going to be pretty damn happy. Just off the fact they've gone from being the team who lost a pistol to 2-1 up. They're going to look for their third here, and there's very likely, we aren't even seeing any Deagles now, it's just some P250s, some blocks. Weber already find a first hit, cut one, but Weber just still happens, still alive. Eventually Roma will trade things out, supported by Jenko. But even then, so much damage to be done. They've gained themselves a rifle, but that's already screaming the idea of save. This 3 versus 3 looking very unlikely.
Getting ready right now as they just hold their ground for the meantime. Not really going to overextend too much, as they know there is still a chance into this round potentially. So the 3 versus 3, you have the 1 rifle over on Keita. They might be able to achieve something if they can create a couple of, 2 versus 1 peaks where they can get the advantage over one of the players over on the side of FM, take them down. Splitting up a little bit here, Roma's going to burst his way through the door. The rest of his teammates will go for the late round backstab, but the only thing is Roma most likely to get peeks through, easy kill going the way of Fry. Now it's really awkward for them. They don't really have the manpower, obviously they're outnumbered. Jenko's so low as well. Yeah, he comes through. Nilzinho actually gets one. Oh, Keita tried to trade it, but Nilzinho, too hot to handle there. The UMP kills reigning supreme in that round as well. All of those SMG kills really going to hurt things, as FM throughout actually got a pretty stable economy off the back of those rounds, but now where the real game begins again.
Yeah, it is going to be Fish123 trying to force the hand of FM, bring it back to a more healthier score on a 3 for 2. Do with the AWP, of course, into the arms of Smooya, but it is this battle between Weber and Smooya, which you know, on edge give it to Smooya, but even then, if he gets the first shot, Smooya is going to up the ante as he does land a flick. But the trade looking pretty damn solid from Pulse as he's going to set himself back in towards Connector, and his worry here really isn't that lower end, it's actually the higher end, just making sure that it isn't going to be a quick funneling push, a rotate, in fact, towards this B site.
Keita is going to take down Pulse in the opener. This is actually a very effective round so far going through for Fish123. Just what they needed to pull out on the buy. Stanley has a lot of information. He's going to hear those audio cues, kind of knows what's going on, but unfortunately doesn't have eyes in the back of his head as he gets taken down, leaving his teammate to try and do something. Unfortunately, Roma will go down, but Jenko trades it back, leaving it all out on Nilzinho. Trapped over on the site, a 1 versus 4. Peeks up, actually does get away with 1 kill, nearly the second, but once again, it's going to be Keita to wield that AK-47 and find another frag. Also switches out to the AWP as well, which can now be dropped over to Smooya.
Very well played from Fish in the way they handled Connector there, because FM, you could see them trying to adapt. They started to move more and more players over towards it just to make sure they could try and contest it, but Fish was smart. They tried to kind of do a bit of push and shove, a bit of touchy-feely with them, and it really paid off because they didn't overcommit too early. They played it right, they played the time to their side, and that's exactly what we need to see from this T side if they are going to be able to get these rounds over and over again and really chain them together, which is something we stressed so much for Endpoint yesterday, and I feel like it's going to be a bit of a similar affair in this matchup. Of course, FM, the team who do hold a lot of the cards in terms of predictions. Fish, they know they're in a bit of a struggle here, but they also know they've got the raw skill to be able to overcome them. There's two very different stories too, which are going to very much meet each other at odds end, as it is going to be Nilzinho already just running straight through the wall, trying to counteract the Smooya boost that is going to be coming, because they almost certainly have heard it. Smooya drops a frag grenade over the wall.
Ground being slowly taken hit by the CTs. They tried to work their way through. They wanted to go for the aggressive peak, but unfortunately Smooya was there, ready and waiting. Fires off the first pot shot, will claim ahead as well. Actually going to go into an elevated angle now as well. So even if he doesn't find a frag from this, he will get so much information that helps him out as well. Goes for the pot shot on towards Nilzinho, so it's going to slow them down. They're aware that there is a fight coming towards that B bomb site, which can draw some men situated off of A to try and rotate as well. But look at this, the CT coming in the rear as well. Seems like he might have actually spotted out the T's that work their way down connector over towards the B-bomb site. So he's got a lot of information. Actually, no, he didn't spot them. He's going all the way around. Nilzinho, though, on short with the aggressive peak. He gets away with that, even though they had 2 men there ready to try and ward him off.
It's Neil just doing it all single-handedly, saving this round. The Tech9 Smooya will somewhat chime in on towards Neil in return, but it's all but a little too late now. It's at a 1v2. This is tough. 20 seconds left on the clock. Will decide to go straight for the bomb plant, but in fact fakes it out. This is more time to be wasted. It allows that back flank to come on through now, as he has to commit this plant, but still looking for the peak, so hungry to bring it full circle to a 1 versus 1, as he's going to look dead set on towards the peak. Ops towards the back of sight, and the back flank from Pulse will roll on in, dropping it with the UMP. Smooya left in a struggling spot there, and fair play to him. You've got so many different decisions to make that he decides to play for time, but he just didn't have enough. Playing into the hands of Pulse.
Yeah, just allowed them to play their A game there. And the thing is as well, you kind of hit the nail on the head. You've got to give it to Nilzinho right now. Nil's been playing absolutely fantastic, leading by example with a lot of the actual stuff he's been able to pull out right now. Huge impact frags that have been going his way. He's been going for the initiative calls as well. The aggressive pick towards short, it was risky. You know, there was 2 men there, but still, he did his job well. So smart stuff actually being able to pull that out of the bag. Fry, he gets a whole abundance of information off that peak. He knows they're going on, knows they're going to push into him now as well. He's blind, but he's still hammering on the trigger. That is a blind hat trick coming out. Absolutely huge. Stanley for the final frag as well over on towards Mole. And FM clean up that eco very swiftly.
Really nice for them just in terms of economics as well right now. There's going to be a professor right there just writing down the numbers, tallying it all up and going, boys, simply put, you are rich. You're loving it right now. As FM take the scoreline 5-2, Fish123 make nothing in all. And you kind of have to just take a glance at Fish and really accept the fact that they don't have anything either. They're still stuck. There's going to be some Tech9s and Kevlar here, which, sure, it's better. It gives them the ability to try and go for this quick rush, but they've already met with Molotov. Smoke is going to go down to act as a passing gift, but somewhat block it off. Jenko is going to start strong with the first frag, but Fry, Nilzinho, both instantaneous trades, bring things back into contention for FM.
Aruma starting to roll around there as well. He's going to get that bomb planted. Nilzinho. Right, it's kind of on him and the rest of his teammates. Obviously, Weber the one with the AWP. They need to try and go for the first initial faces. So his pulse is blocked off at this point. Nilzinho and Weber need to find the kills for these AWPs to crack the opening. Frags, Nilzinho unfortunately will get spotted out by Keita. He's so low as well that he can't really try and fight back off that point. Now Weber has to get the opening frag. Then Pulse will try and go for the backstab box. Actually goes for the first initial face. Somehow gets away with a 2K spray down as well. Surely should have been punished in that scenario, but gets away with it. But Keita, you put him in a prime time position where he can use that weapon to its greatest strength. You're in the elevated angle. Easy kill comes through. Weber going to have to try and stick the bomb now. Leaps on it. Keita down the low ground. Weber seeming to be sticking it, and he actually gets the defuse out in just a nick of time.
It all comes down to one play. The fact that Keita couldn't get that kill before Weber was able to fall off heaven and get himself down in towards pit. The minute that comes in, that round gets so much harder. And then for him to stick the defuse as well, what more can you ask for? 6-2 now. A disastrous outcome for Fish123. But at the same time, flip the coin, look towards the other side. They did that with just Tech9s and Kevlar. This is the real investment now. They're going back in with these rifles with this AWP. But guess what we're seeing? This overcommittal towards this B site, it's very much UK overpass, where teams just try and barrage B over and over again. But FM, their hold on B is going to get better and better, already getting that early damage down to Smooya and his AWP, just knocking him to 36 or so. Looking bleak in the early few seconds, to say the least.
Try and go for this push in towards the B1 side, but the flashbang going in does delay them quite heavily. Nilzinho as well was on the scene when it caused a stir as he finds the opening frag back over on towards Jenko. Unfortunately, the trade is there. F trying to do one better though, as Fry takes the peek through, finds a couple of headshots, does get the man advantage in the favour of FM. So now they just stand a bit stagnated, waiting for the rest of the peaks to come through. Lines of sight have been blocked off by the smoke grenades that were used by the T's, and Keita was allowed to just push up close and personal. Takes down Nilzinho so quickly. Seems like he's hungry for more as well. Flashbang goes over, he does try and peek into it, but he's getting warded off. Pulse takes him down. Now this is awkward. Mole, left in 1 versus 2, has to try and create a couple of 1 versus 1 here if he wants to achieve really anything, as he does tiptoe off. He's actually been able to brush over on towards short. He has the bomb as well now, so it is achievable that he can try and get out of there, but the only thing is, 2 players left on that city side. They can just hold out for information, stick one towards the site. As soon as they catch wind, quick rotate. It's so easy to rotate on overpass like this. And then they can just try and retake into late round. The amount of utility they have as well, it's going to be so easy as well. Both of them having those 2 kits.
It all comes down to right now, his ability to aim. His ability to be able to use that Kalashnikov. Things he are going to be lining up. He's playing over towards just the edge of APC. The push is going to begin to roll through. They're trying to go for the double face, but no, they go 1 versus 1. They allow him to go for this taps. He gets the first, but Weber will seal the deal with the AWP shot right into his leg to end this one out. FM charge on forward. A constant push. They take it 7-2.
That was very vital there as well. It looked like it might have been awkward. You know, obviously, they went for the 2 individual faces. They kind of pushed a little bit stagnated. It was a little bit too delayed. Mole gets an easy frag. Then you're like, okay, it's too late at this point. Weber's not going to be able to do it. But he just swings wide and lands a tasty shot that made it work out for him. So that was interesting to see him actually being able to pull that off. Now, though, obviously, Fish, the lose bonus is in play. Everything's looking good for them in terms of economy, so the buy does come back out. Smooya is back on the AWP. Now, it's going to be interesting to see how they will utilize him, as he can be a real powerhouse for opening these sites.
Roma taking advantage of Weber there, just trying to go for a bit more of an aggressive movement. It is going to be a bit of a 2-step back for FM, as they do realize that they need to be a little bit more careful in their approach to this round, as a frag advantage towards Fish does give them a bit more of a window of opportunity. Try and somewhat play with time, as 1 minute 20 is a whole lot for them now, as they have all that utility. It's not like they're up against just pistols again, so FM got to be cautious not to repeat similar mistakes. As Pulse is going to begin to venture in towards toilets, looking for that pick in return, but off guard by Keita.
Yeah, taking him down as well makes this situation so much easier as well now for FM at this point. It just keeps giving. As Jenko takes down Fry, you've just got 2 players left on a 2 versus 5. They are vastly outnumbered and outgunned as well. They luckily do have the AWP over on Nilzinho still, so it's something to try and work with, but the only thing is, no one is heading towards that B bomb site. And I wouldn't be surprised at this point if they both just back off towards B, just try and go for the save, as you can't really achieve too much. You're far away out of position as well, so as soon as that bomb goes down, you know the team's already into the after plants, you know you're most likely not going to get the round. No point of trying to do anything here.
The problem is for FM as well, once they set the precedent that taking these 1 versus 1s is okay, it all just spirals out of control. It's very much a slippery slope. Fish, they get that first pick, they then follow up with a second, third, fourth. It seems to be very much just, well, you use the phrase stagnating, I think that almost represents this play as well. FM, their one weakness seems to be actually playing up against defaults. Fish123, they look for these battles and they win them. But when Fish123 go for the executes, completely different game to CS. FM, they win it hands down nearly every time.
Yeah, it's true. They're able to counter those plays very easily, but it's the more split and pick slow style plays, as you said, that do catch them off guard, which is odd. You've got to wonder if that just comes down to sort of individual strength on play there for Fish123, where they think, all right, I'll take this aggressive fight. They peek something that, oh, by the way, that was really awkward towards the end there. That could have been crazy if he found another kill. Would have really stopped FM from getting any chance as they work their way through into this round, as those 2 weapons are very vital. They have something to play with now as they go in. Obviously, you have the AWP over. It actually allowed them to get a full buyout almost into this round. Sure, you've got the 3 UMPs, but that's still a very effective buy.
Is it going to be just another split and pick round though for Fish123? The early few seconds certainly seem to foretell that it is going to be just that case. As Keita looking for that individual fight up on towards potentially Pulse, he decides to actually venture up towards Long instead, which means just more and more ground is there to be garnered for players like Roma, Mole and Keita. As all 3 of them are just going to be this trio that push on through and look to really catch them off guard. Pulse is going to come in inside though. Finds himself one, a bit of damage on towards the second, keeps re-peeking, but he needs to be careful here not to overcommit, and that's when he will be claimed back in return as Mole, the man to dish out the damage.
His kill's starting to come through. We always see Fish managing to get these opening frags on the board. As soon as they do as well, that's normally where they actually lock it down. They've been very effective in their trade game recently, which is something you'd normally put on the belt of FM, really. But it's not really been going that way. Weber, though, the aggressive peak comes through. The amount of damage he's transferred there is crazy that he was able to stay alive for so long before getting taken down. Absolutely insane stuff. Everyone is so weak at this point. With Fry finding that frag as well, this is such a winnable round left now for FM. 3 versus 3 where they go for this push towards the A bomb site. You have the superior weapons in this case, as you can just tear your way through. They've got the better rate of fire to actually pick them off, and everyone's so low. Nilzinho as well doesn't even need to use his AWP. He can just use his pistol because of how weak they are. Easy kills start to rain in. You leave it on Smooya in a 1 versus 3 with an AWP. Peeks into Nilzinho. His AWP stronger.
A simple point-and-click execution round for FM towards the end of things, starting to really change pace yet again, as the more this match develops, the harsher it gets for Fish123. Their economy is certainly getting stretched there. They're so thin into this round as they are going to be getting just 3 rifles in play. They do get the UMP of Jenko, of course, which is a bit more of perhaps a positive note. But even then, the scoreline really is just representative of itself. It's 8-3. We've got to get a little concerned here now, Jackie. If FM can continue to build things up together, start to continue to chain yet again, we could be looking at a very poor half.
Yeah, it could be a very awkward half for Fish, and it's kind of what FM need as well. Really assert their dominance over on the early CT half, because that's where you kind of, expect them to perform better. Obviously, with Fish123 being more of a mix as well, where strategy comes into play, it can hinder them. Obviously, it's more like the XL lineup, which is what we spoke about, so you imagine Mole will be able to still use them quite effectively. But that CT half, they don't really need to do too much, strategically-wise. You just kind of hold your angles. And where they're all very talented aimers, that's where it's going to come in to benefit them as well. You just hold back in your CT half, find those easy frags, play crossfires, which they can definitely do. So they need to try and stint as much of the growth as they can of them getting rounds in their T half early. And FM have been doing a good job of that so far. If they get an even better scoreline, it's only going to be more beneficial for them.
But now that clock going to wind on down, rolling us forward and forward into the years. We reach a time and a place where Fish123 have to take some fights now. Have to start looking for just a little bit more taking scale as Jenko going to do just that on towards short. Weber does secure just another trade, make things a little bit more healthier for this CT side. As Fry has so much to do on towards B, but he's making it work, takes a fight, wins out against Jenko, but he wants to double dip here. He wants to make sure he holds on towards Smoya as he pushes on towards Monster. This is huge from just one man, but unfortunately, Mole is going to arrive as well, continues just the constant barraging trades from Fish123, and it swings things back into their favor as they get that plant. Nilzinho, quick to try and respond with its AWP.
Holding their ground for now, though. Just going to be waiting for the peaks to come through. Mole, obviously, up close to personal near the AK. As the push does start to come in, peeking together. This is smart stuff for the CTs, but then aware of Mole's position. He's able to get the drop on them, taking one down. Now it's awkward. Look how low Weber is, and caught off guard as well. The double face, smart play from Fish123. Overwhelm him at that point. You strike when it benefits you. Don't wait for him to take the fight to you. You take him down. Very easy stuff there. They get that full round on the board. Now they should get their 5th as well, as they've got money to play with, whereas unfortunately for FM, they don't.
For all intents and purposes, Fish123, they've grabbed FM by the balls and really just informed that they are here to play some Counter-Strike. This pretty much completely saves the scoreline. We've gone from what could have been something just as bad as an 11-4 or anything along those sort of lines, could be even worse, 12-3, to what is arguably at least a bare minimum of a 9-6, I think, at this point. I wouldn't be too surprised. Fish123, we already know they're going to get their 5th, and you look from there and go, connecting that next buy or getting at least one more buy in the last few rounds, that seems likely.
Crossfire setup here, though, could work out well as the peak comes in. Unfortunately, it's not going to go at all their way. Pulse over by Toxic, though, is doing damage with that CZ. 2 frags go his way before he's eventually traded out, leaving it all on Weber to try and clear up the stragglers. A 1 versus 3. Not achievable, really, but if he could find an extra kill, it would have helped them out, would have forced out another rebuy. Done some more damage to Fish's economy that is starting to stabilize and look fairly healthy. FM, though, the same can still not be said for them. It's still kind of weak. They can go for the buy, though, but they're going to have to lack a little bit of utility here and there. Well, they swapped to go for the UMPs over on Weber, and Nilzinho, so they can still get out that full utility across the board. Just missing a couple of flashbangs and a HE here and there.
I think it's a smart decision all in all. Utility in Counter-Strike is so valuable, and a UMP in comparison to an M4 is not all that much different, to be honest. You can still do quite a lot with UMP, providing you play it right and you can adapt to what you've got in your hands. At the end of the day, Fish123 looking so likely still to get that 6th, which I think is just so huge for them, as they are already going to be looking to gain some ground up towards A, just looking to really continue the traction that we picked up just a few ago. As FM, sure they want to respond here, but we know it's going to be tough. What changes are they making? Because I'm not seeing too much. It feels very much the same old hold.
Yeah, we're not really seeing too much initiative coming out here right now. It's more just split and pick still on display from Fish123. But it's been working in a few of the rounds. Obviously, split and pick is where we saw the crack start to show for FM because they weren't able to really counter it effectively. For some reason, they would just get caught off guard. The trades would always go in favor of Fish. And let's see if that is going to happen again. Weber is up close to personal, as always, with that UMP. He absolutely loves to take the aggression here, but it doesn't work out for him. But luckily, Pulse was able to find one. Trades it back on Roma, but Smuya is keeping the pain train through. Keita as well from the sideline. Strikes on Nilzinho. They can trade him out. They have the manpower advantage. They can get the bomb down. And these CTs coming in for the retake. Gonna have a hard time as there's a man in the back lines. Easy kills for Jenko.
Positioning reading supreme there. Jenko just being in the right place at the right time and really just thinking things through as the penny will drop. Fish123, they get themselves their 6th round, and well, now they're 7th. Looking even more likely because look at the firepower that FM are bringing to the table. This is a knife to a gunfight.
It's true, right? And the knife they use is just a butter knife, so it doesn't really even do anything. You can, you can bread some butter and spread that, but you can't spread a human.
Bread some butter, folks. That is the story here.
Okay, so Keita kills Smooya in that fight.
Definitely was ready for that as well. That was a full commit with the CZ there. Like,
yeah.
at times, it's time to change up that decision, so fair play to him.
That was odd, but anyway, let's see how this one goes down. Obviously left in a 3 versus 2 now as they burst their way out on towards the site. Roma with a 2K coming through. This is looking healthy, but a backstab from Pulse could be huge. Unfortunately, he only gets 1 frag on towards Roma before Keita finds the headshot onto him, trades him out very effectively. Weber trying to find that AK in the smoke as he waddles his way through, but he's going to peek out. Wasn't quite out on his end, so Keita finds the kill very easily. And that is an 8-7 scoreline. A lot closer than it seemed like it was going to be. Fish123, they were down and out for a lot of the time there before they were somehow able to bring it back.
Yeah, it was just really, really well played for them, the way they were able to start to really pick up rounds, and their economy was consistently saved as well, just because they were able to get the last kind of 3-4 together. Mole actually didn't die for the last 3 rounds of the half, which enabled him to really just make sure that he could always be that player to drop rifles to the rest of his team, and it just put Fish up on this plateau where always being able to buy always gives you the upper hand against your opposition, because FM, they started to lose control of their economy. It very much slipped out of control. Now they do get a chance to respond though. Pistol going to be a big part of this, as they will look to get themselves up towards 9. Not too much coming out from Fish, a little bit of aggression here and there, as it's going to be FM just to try and pledge their allegiance towards this B side. But Roma and Keita start off strong with a double kill for themselves.
The kills raining in, going to be very effective, as it's just what they need. They need to try and keep up the good style of play they actually had over on the first half. Roma as well, headshot through on towards Fry. Now Keita with another trade back on towards Pulse. There's Jenko for one of his own. Very nicely done across the board. A flurry of frags coming out. Fish123, a flawless pistol round to kick things off. That's going to really get the morale going.
Yeah, they're going to be getting the pop on it now as they do begin to set themselves off on the right foot, as you say. 8-8 equalization point as well, for all intents and purposes. It is just the 5th round now that Fish123 have been able to claim in a row, if you include that last half performance. We are, of course, certainly kind of weighing the odds here of FM and kind of what the value is of them forcing up, and I do think they've came to the right conclusion that at the end of the day, just going for P250s and no Kevlar, it's smart. Just save that extra money you just got, use that to get that early buy.
Yeah, obviously the things as well, like with getting the bomb down, you can get that money out, you can get the buy through. It does help a lot more. So that coming into effect, all factors that will help them out for these later rounds, but they still need to try and do something in this round. It's not a throwaway. Yeah, you can pull something out of the bag. There isn't the greatest buy on Fish. There is a couple of weaker weapons in play. Obviously, the UMP and the MP7 will tear through you with no armor, so you are going to be picked off very quickly. But trade game can definitely work out against those guns. If you can catch them off guard, take a couple of them down, there's a lot of potential to break the economy of Fish123 before it builds too effectively.
Even just a bomb plant though, just to kind of almost detract away from a round win potential. Just getting a bomb plant here for FM holds a lot of value. Just means that they can get that extra little bit more going into that early buy, in terms of utility and that sort of thing, which utility on a T side is actually incredibly valuable. I don't think it's a point that's stressed enough, especially on a map like Overpass, where the ability to go for something like just a smoke execute on towards A can secure you that early first buy, really setting you off on the right foot. But now though, it's going to be smoother with the USB, just tapping on away, eventually force you with the headshot, just clawing away on towards Fry. We do see Stanley responding back in with just another low. So that trading game starting to come to effect as well. Picking towards Smooya, but then it is going to be the rifles, just to spray on down. Nilzinho trying to a little bit closer. Looking too likely. It's going to be a very damaging round for Fish123, but still a round for them nonetheless.
Yeah, and that's the thing that we wanted to see actually coming out from FM into that round, right? They forced out 3 rebuys going through. 3 casualties on the side of Fish. That's not good at all. Very weak on both players as well, so that armor is going to be damaged. So they have to spend money investing to rebuy that armor. They also take so much of a hit. They burn all of their utility as well. So it's a crazy amount of economy that they have to basically just spend away to get back into this round now as well. And FM, they can try and play a little bit more comfortably here. If they pick this round up, the economy of Fish will be very shook.
Of the first, Swindles around for the second. The Orpa Smooya throws a wrench that works. He will play the leg of Nilzinho. But that's still 1 for 2. Any better will tell you those odds not quite stacked against your favor right now, as it isn't too positive at all if you're in the camp of Fish123. They do still have the AWP though, which is perhaps a bit of a slower lane to run down. If that can find just another pick, it's certainly a weapon for the job. But FM holding their cards very close to their chest. We know they're all stacked towards B, and you can hear a little bit of firepower or just being sprayed on through, but for the most part, it's nothing too crazy. FM just being very slow here now. 55 seconds. Why not?
It's true. They might as well just play it slow. You know, they know they're in the driving seat. They have the upper hand in this scenario. They still have utility to work with. They can try and take that aggression towards the B-bomb site. Not all of the CTs are there. There's only 2 men there. If they find these frags very easily, and they're creating 1 versus 1s here as well through the smoke, Fry takes down Mole, but unfortunately Jenko starts to go large. 2 shots coming out as he takes down Pulse and Fry. Weber can trade it back, but now it's a 2 versus 1. They still have the upper hand in this scenario. They get the bomb down, back off, get into after plants, play effectively. You have no reason to try and take the fight onto Smooya here. It's so hard for him to slip his way towards the bomb site and have to draw out both of these fights as well. You peek into him, the double face comes through, works out smartly. Obviously, they took the initiative there. They find the opening kill, and it goes that way. Confidence in play, but it does work out. Obviously, look at the cash as well. This is the thing. Because the amount of money they had to spend to physically get that buy out, and the amount of casualties they were taking in every round, they just have nothing into this one. So they've only lost that 1 round, but it's really just burnt their way through everything they had saved up.
I think the thing with economy as well, right? It's one of those things we talk about so much in Counter-Strike because it is very important. But then you always have to detract away from that and go, at the end of the day, rounds are just what counts. Rounds will win you a match, getting to that perfect 16. 9 for 9, FM, keeping it real. This round though, they're just dropping their hammer. Fry and Ilzinho are both combining. Picks are plenty for them, money to be made, farming up off these pistols. Fish, looking like you can get one, as Fry just going to hop around.
Good thing that the majority of these kills are going to Fry as well. Obviously, the only one with the SMG. A 3k on the board for him. If he could potentially find another kill, that would be great. But obviously, Keita taking him down is also very effective. But that's still a ridiculous amount of money made into this round. Keita is trying to make him work a little bit harder for it, but they're going to be able to lock it down the end. Stanley gets the kill with the AK. And overall, it's very, very good for FM, because you look at things now, the double eco is still in play. They weren't able to get any money out, which means FM do get this 11th round on the board, you'd imagine, as Fish123 and the ecos have done nothing, really. They just seem lackluster. I haven't really seen too much initiative, but we haven't really had that much of a chance to see what they can bring to the table yet. There's only been 2 rounds they've actually been in these awkward situations. But let's see if this is going to be a bit different. More of a shock and awe style play. They wolf pack up, they take the fight through. They're just peeking. They're using the range advantage, and that is just going to play in the hands of FM.
A bit of a blood pack to die together. That's going to be the case for them, so at least they get their wishes granted. Smooya only able to find a singular pick on towards Stanley, as FM continue their journey forward to their Sweet 16. Is that 11 to 9? They're doing a pretty damn good job of it. Fish123 though, at least get to perform a buy once and for all. AWP back into the arms of Smooya, of course, fairly standard stuff. Going for a double up setup as they opt for Mole as well. I think this could be the curveball that FM won't expect.
Very true. The things as well, we've only really seen Smooya situated towards long. He hasn't done anything too crazy, right?
Where's his mobility at? Where's the Smooya we know and love? That has to be said.
This is what we're talking about. And now you get this double up setup out. Now this allows Smooya to kind of be the more roaming AWPer. He can take the fight, whereas Mole just stays and plays his position over on long. With Smooya looking like he was opting to go for the early connector phase, but then backed off, decided against it. Now just focusing here towards party, he can be just very all over the place, very organic, just switch things up. You don't need to... You know, you won't really be thinking about where he is, and then he'll just peek out and do some damage. But Nilzinho spots him! Oh, Nilzinho taking him down. That's so huge into this round.
What a player to remove, just axing the head of Smooya right out of the map, and this just puts FM on such a strong footing, as Nilzinho and this T-side just going to begin to make their journey up towards A-Long. Sure, they are going to be facing up against Mole, but this position right here is almost one and done in itself. He's not even going to spot them out. Goes for a flick, will drop on back though, and within just the nick of time as Nilzinho was scoped in ready to find that trade.
That's crazy. Being able to get the opening frag on the board, obviously the trade comes back through though, you leave them in a 4 versus 4. Still, this is favouring the T's. They're looking good right now. They're going to feel very happy about this round as they can take the fight together, just wolf pack up. They're taking the fight over on towards long, but are they aware that the double up setup is in play? They still have no reason to have noticed that Mole is here. Normally it is Smooth that's situated over here, but the boost comes in. Mole looking like he might not be ready for this. Oh, misses the shot as well. Nilzinho can trade now. Very effective stuff. Nilzinho doing his work absolutely fantastically. He is always the very aggressive AWPer. You know, you're going to see him supporting his teammates. There's a great job of being that AWP by GL. Unfortunately, when the peak comes through, though, Roma will overpower Weber. Nilzinho in the end will burn him to a crisp, though. 3 versus 1 into this round now. Retake almost comes out for Jenko, but it was not meant to be. They picked that one up. and FM lock it down overall. This is looking very effective for them. And that's the thing as well for Fish123. You get a buyout, but once again, they pumped everything they had into that round. Fully invested as much as they possibly can. And it's the same old story once again. FM, they're probably going to lock this one down because Fish, they cannot do anything on their ecos. Sure, they've got a Mag 7 on Keita, which in the past we've seen Keita doing some deadly stuff with a shotgun. But still, they just don't seem to have any real initiative or game plan on these ecos.
It all just falls apart. Keita now in a difficult position to be able to do his work, and we'll find just the one, which sure is what he did, but then an AK-47 will just chew through. Simple as that. Smooya going to do some damage in connector. But it is winnable. That's what counts right now. Unfortunately for FM, sure, you can argue the phrase of value, but FM are now 12th on 0.
And
Fish,
FM
they need rounds.
Yeah, FM have very good money as well. That's the thing. They actually got a lot of kills with SMGs early. Nilzini was on about like 7.5k or something like that right now. Everyone's actually pretty healthy, so it's not going to affect him too badly. 8.7k, so everyone's pretty happy.
If Fish123 decide to opt for this AWP as well, they can't leave Mole over towards long that they did last time, not without that rifle support. That has to be a two-man job. You don't just leave one AWP there once you've already faced it. Sure, if you're going to be that first contact, that's fine. But the minute Mole fell back and decided to stick around without that rifle support, we just see him get overrun. That's going to be the same thing that happens time and time again if we see any presence towards long.
That's the thing, another round going their way now as well. They've got the bomb plant in this, so any cash they kind of lost being able to go for those rebuys, they're going to be pretty healthy about. Obviously, Stanley's economy wasn't the greatest, but obviously the cash going through, now he's fine. They can always drop him if they want to. I mean, Nilzinho can drop him an AK, so he can still have money to get full nades out, which you'd imagine you'd see coming through. Yeah, someone's dropped him an AK there. There is the buyout back on Fish. Didn't have enough wins to get for the double orb. Smooya is back on the primary orb. But still, yeah, this is good. I want to see the aggression coming out from it. There's no point in him just being situated off by long. The only faces we've seen from FM towards long is into the late round when there's really no reason for him to burn the entire first 40 seconds of the round just sitting there. Now with this fight, he might catch him off guard. Nice shot as well. Takes that weapon. That is sick. Absolutely sickening stuff as they now push their way through, trying to take some damage back though on towards the B bomb site. They use their confidence. They find the opening frag on towards Jenko. There's a follow-up as well from Stanley. Stanley, 2k comes through, taking out everyone on his warpath.
This is just disastrous. It was looking so good. Smooya added a bit of flair into the round, but it's just a sprinkle. It's not enough to actually change things, as that's a tag through the smoke on towards Smooya now. 16 HP, not making a difference at all. One pick, and that is all that Fish will find. As it is going to be FM just letting that bomb tick on away. Pulse holding tight on towards short. Mole trying to find that frag. But it's just patience for Fish. They're already in that sort of exit frag mode. Smooya going to support Mole just to make sure that that push does come through that door. They slam it right back in their faces. But even then, this is the end of a round. Another going to that T side. 14-9. Fish, now they are really running out of chances. Their economy can't support this. It very much can't sustain this.
It's true. This is such an awkward spot to be in. As sure, you get out of that round with 2 weapons to play with, but you're going to have to once again burn all your economy. They can get an effective buyout into this one, as they did have the 7.2k over on Jenko, which means full utility across the board. Everyone can actually get the buyout around that. But that's your last ditch attempt at this point, as it should be broken into the following round. So you come in here, you need to lock it down now. They can't really afford themselves to try and play for OT because they just won't have any money into that next round. And as we've seen, the most they can do is sort of get around 2 to 3 kills on ecos. They haven't been able to win a single eco.
So this is it. This is match point right now in effect. Fish123, they cut themselves down in the dirt. And already, Smooya going to be there to fill the hole. Just the first body to hit the stack. Second, perhaps soon to follow, as Mole is going to peek towards long, but just another part of the map that's been left untouched as FM leaving no stone unturned towards the B site, as it is just going to be Stanley creating a tear as he opens up with a double kill. Mole still stuck over towards A, finally kicking into hide gear with these rotates. But it's just too late for Fish. They're blocked out of the site. The Flames creating a wall. Nade after nade, damage after damage. So much utility on this T side. Fish123, they're out of this first map.
There's no way. Like, even if they save both of these rifles, they can get out like kind of an awkward off-buy into the next round, but obviously Keat goes down as well, so it's going to be... It's worse and worse by the second the more casualties they take, because there's no way of them retaking and winning this round anyway. So Mole basically just has to stay alive. Even if he finds frags though, does nothing. FM have a crazy balloon of economy, so you are not going to be able to pop that and actually hurt them into what could be the final round here. As the economy of Fish is going to be horrendous, it's not going to be that great. The thing is as well, these ecos have just been very weak. And it's just kind of scary. Look, the buy does actually come through. Actually, it's a little bit better than I expected it to. I thought their economy was a little bit worse than that. So the buy does come back in. It's not too bad. Smooya, though, won't be able to afford the orb. But even then, we haven't really seen too much from him on the orb. He just looks scared in a lot of the picks he's going for. I'm so perplexed by the play he actually went for there as well. He's just standing out in the open, scoped over towards Monster. We haven't really seen any early round aggression towards Monster apart from E-Coach from FM.
I feel like I'm watching a passive orb play, which is not Smooya at all. No one will ever describe Smooya as a passive play. At least they do get the first pick. They can start to change things. Keita to pick up first blood on towards Fryer, but right now I'm still not holding too much hope. I need to see more from Fish to really solidify this advantage.
I think as well it has to be flawless. And if they get around on the board, there's always the reset factor where then FM can just come back in and lock the game down straight away off the back of that. And that's the scary thing because they've got, they've got around 2-3 rounds of actual buffer before their economy starts to break away from them anyway. So FM aren't going to be that scared if they do potentially lose rounds. They know they have time to play with here before anything starts to go wrong. Pulse trying to spot out ahead here as well. Crazy amount of information off the back of that, but no frag turn his way. The only scary factor is, look at Keita with a backstab. Coming in with the rear. Easy kill goes through. Takes down Weber, but he now knows where the bomb is as well. Pulse is also going to hit the deck off the back of Smooya. This is scary so far. FM, surely they can't claw this round back.
Fish, when they're up against a wall, fight a little bit harder, and that does give them more of a fighting chance to contest this round, as you say, as it is the Stanley to pick up just the one, but Smooya responding with a headshot on towards Nilzinho will put a round on the ball for them, 15-10. But this is the economy. You've got two players maxed out at 16k right now for FM. That's just so much for them to play with that you kind of do the math right now. You're looking at them maybe having to save once, and that's if Fish123 can get us to 15-13 perhaps.
That's what I mean. They had like at least another 2 buys before they had to worry about anything going wrong for them. Then you've got to factor in the fact they're going to start getting loss bonus if they are losing all those rounds in a row, and if they're getting bomb plants. There's all these factors that, because they just had so much money, it's like, okay, they're not going to look that bad. They're always going to be able to get out a pretty efficient buy throughout the rest of this half. Now, the thing is for Fish123, the same cannot be said, because yeah, they get 1 round on the board there, but if Fish123 don't work their way through and actually do lose this round, FM just win the game, and obviously that's the scary factor. They're 1 round away from just locking it down. You can't make any mistakes.
Which, unfortunately, right now is a tale of Fish. They've made mistakes. Their holds haven't been on point. Smooya plays towards long, finally gets some use out of that ult, but misses the second follow-up shot. This creates a window now, but they can push it towards Keita, but Pulse will win that fight with the AK-47, stepping up further and further ahead now. Smooya so drawn on towards A, just making sure that he holds down toilets, and that outer line region that he's not focused on long at all, and that means this push is going to come in more map control to be gained for FM. You can see how antsy this CT side as well towards B right now. They're still so cautious that someone's flanking them from behind. It's so, not necessarily nerves in this one, but just caution.
Taking the fight through as well. Fry, Stanley and Weber. Stanley's been absolutely unreal when it comes to getting these entry frags so far. He's been really on point throughout this matchup. Weber as well. You know he can be a very consistent man. Flashbang go through to allow entry in towards the bomb site. Weber tries to find the opening frag. Will be able to do so. Takes down Roma. That's very effective. But Smooya peeks up. Eliminates Fry. And now is able to reposition over towards Bank as well as he B-hops his way there swiftly. Arrives on the scene, ready to try and do some damage. Waits for his teammates to roll on over as well. No reason to peek on his lonesome. They also have a late round backstab coming up, but he gives the game away. Weber tries to take the pot shots, but can't actually take the fight. Stanley goes on the aggressive as well, kicks in the afterburners, trying to take the fight towards Mole. Gets punished, and Smooya finds the frag through the smoke on towards Weber. The defuse comes in. Fish123 stay alive for another round, but FM will still have money.
Only just look, still a struggle, and the issue there was that they left long so open, they had no information. They were just sat waiting for that push to happen, giving them no response time. It was all reactive instead of being proactive. It all started when Smooya decided that he has to be cautious. You've got to throw that into the wind at this point and have no care. You've got to be confident if you're going to make this comeback happen. That's the only way these stories are told. A peak from Smooya, but a failing peak, giving Pulse that opportunity to walk further and further in towards Connector. Smoke does go down, meaning he can't head up the steps. But they're looking towards B right now. That's where FM want to exploit.
Nade starts to roll over. Aggression needs to be bomb site. Back on the actual fight through. Mole with a pre-fire. The spray transfer headshot comes out. That's huge. Roma as well doing work right now. Finds the frag back on towards Weber. So already they have the man advantage into this round. It just keeps on giving for them as well. Jenko playing from Toxic. Easy headshot to eliminate Nilzinho. Pulse will get slammed down by Smooya. And they've got another round on the board now, 12-15. FM seem like they will actually go for a tactical pause, you would imagine, as things have started to go a little bit south for them. Obviously, they still have a buffer to play with. They always have the overtime security. But it's looking like this will kind of, this is kind of going to be one of their last sort of buys before they have to focus more heavily on their economy. So, buy into this, take the pause. What are we going to do differently?
That's exactly it. That 15-13 was the scoreline that we looked towards. That was really where things almost benchmark as, okay, FM, now they're starting to lose control. What are we going to see differently? It's a tough question, but I do think that one of the big plays FM could just make is they've tried to be slow towards B, they've tried to be slow towards A. We've not really seen anything too fast. It's always been a slow start. Just go for something quick aggressive, go for a bit of a pop-tastic round. Just get yourself charging up on towards A, flashes aplenty, a quick smoke execute, go within the first 30-45 seconds. Something you would expect to see from FM at a qualifier of some sorts. Just an off-the-cuff round that Fish123 are not going to expect at all right now. Because Fish, they know that FM are always going to start around slow and then build up into something quick, or just go from slow to a little bit slower as they try and up the tempo with the B-side push.
You wonder as well, potentially, if FM into this matchup up against Fish, if they might actually be holding back on more of their T-side strategy, because there's always kind of the potential that this could be the matchup at the grand final. When you look at things, obviously, Fish123 beating out Imperial 2-0 earlier in the playoffs. If they then do get knocked into the lower bracket, theoretically, and then overpower Imperial once again, it will be FM versus Fish123 at the grand final. Now, is there always that potential that FM right now, just like if we hold back, don't show too much of our T-side strategy potentially? We saw a little bit of that beforehand when it was FM versus Fish in the qualifier for a recent UK LAN that just went on, where it was the same sort of storyline, where it seemed like their T-side wasn't as in depth as it normally is because they were kind of holding back on a few things.
I think that's a really good point actually, because and it always leads back to the whole idea of just going for something off the cuff, right? Because then you're not giving too much away. The downside is that you're getting to that scoreline now where if you want the win, you've got to show something. A little bit of flesh has to be shown. If you don't, you are going to give Fish that opportunity to go for broke, run for overtime. So it's two very different sides, and we're constantly swaying either side of the options, really kind of making sure we do discuss both. But only time will tell. Got a minute this time around to play with an FM still being slow, always going for that slow early round. They use some utility, they try and get a bit of information on how Fish are playing, searching for a bit of almost split and pick. But they're not getting any picks now. Fish are being very, very defensive. They're sitting on these sites and not moving at all until FM walk into them. Which, sure, it puts Fish in a bit of a hard spot if we do see something that catches them off guard. If we do see Stanley, for example, open up with a double kill, then a round is done. But if Fish play together, they play in their crossfires, they use their utility smart, they give themselves windows to bolt on through, then it's just another round for that CT side.
Peak comes out early on, Stanley very low. That's not really what they want into the round. They've taken the pause out for the timeout to try and clear their heads. The aggression comes through, those smokes are in. This is where they really need to continue. Afterburners opening, frag goes the way. Nilzinho though takes down Jenko as his teammates roll through as well. Nilzinho double or nothing at this point as he eliminates Mole. Stanley finds the spray down on towards Roma and things keep getting better for them. Headshot from Pulse. Kida with a late round backstab as he works his way up from short, but it was not meant to be. They will fall. And there you have it. FM will claim the first map. That is going to be